Hello, a very interesting thing that's going on right now on Twitter, X as we know it in the United States. Um, Matt Walsh is basically defending Nick Fuentes, and this is a good thing to see. Apparently, there are people trying to say now that the shooter was a griper, and that Nick had somehow ever called Charlie Cook a fascist, which he never did. So I'm going to go over this real quick. Um, this is a good thing. I'm hoping this is going to be a way in for them to talk. Like I said, these are two Catholics. These guys should be. I've also seen other things on there, and I think it's unconfirmed that Ben Shapiro is thinking about taking over Turning Point, and we can't allow that. Whatever you want to think about Turning Point and their pro-Israel stance and all that stuff, but we can't have an actual Jew that believes that Israel is more important than the United States running it. That's all I have to say on that little thing right there. Um, but maybe we can change it to the new movement will be something else. But maybe with Nick and Matt or even Michael Knowles being involved with. I know people are going to say it'll never happen, but you can have strange bedfellows when it comes to politics. So let me go ahead and do this. There's guys out there saying that Nick is responsible because apparently this guy looked at some of Nick's content. So anyway, it said these idiots are so desperate. This is Matt Walsh, so you can see. Oh, there it is. You can see that, and this is Matt Walsh, who probably never thought he'd ever talk about Nick Fuentes on Twitter or on a show. I don't know. I don't think he has a show today. Hopefully, if he does, he'll discuss this. They say these idiots are so desperate. Fuentes never called Charlie a fascist, you dumbass. No one on the far right would use that term as I can't say the word prototive against someone that they think isn't such sufficiently right wing. This makes no sense. And then he continues on and says, unsurprisingly, the left is gearing up to pin this on Nick Fuentes for claiming that the killer was a griper. Unfortunately for them, that claim doesn't fit any of the facts on the ground. Not that they give a damn shit about that. The killer labeled Kirk a fascist. This is a term only used by the left as a result to the right. The idea that he killed Charlie for not being white enough, but also because considered Charlie a fascist is totally incoherent and absolute nonsense. So this is the problem with my stroke. That's the problem I have. I can't. I have to. It's just hard for me to do that. Now this is a good thing. This is a very good thing. After what Nick did yesterday, with that on his show, the speech, and all that, talking about unity, talking about he had to get past his foolishness, that he's not going to be a troller anymore. That he's going to have those times that he's going to be that way because he's still young. But it's time for doing serious work, and I hope because I think the man that Matt Walsh is, regardless that he works for Ben Shapiro, um, I think he's another warrior for this fight, and I really think that they need to be together. And I still think, and I said in my video this morning, as much as Nick says, I was his foe, that we didn't like each other, and I just can't. They have the same value system, they absolutely do. Their biggest problem was the pro-Israel stance that that Charlie has, and some that Matt might have as well. So it's good to see this. I think that that's a good thing. One of the guys that I didn't get this off Matt. I got it off Zoomer, who I follow. He's a groper, and he said he called Matt a class act, and that's a good thing. We gotta stop, just sit there saying that whatever Matt Walsh says is a bad thing because he works with a Jew. There's way too many people in the gropers that are not good people. Some of their thought processes, although they might be right to a point, it's not instructive about what we need to do in this country and the world in general. So I think it's a very good result. It'll be interesting to see if they actually try to push this narrative that he was a graper and he was following uh, the call of Nick, because maybe Nick wanted to have Charlie's position in the, whatever this is, this hierarchy. Uh, to me, it just sounds like that they know what's next. And when Stephen Bannon actually put that out there, you killed Charlie, and now you got Nick. I think they really started freaking out, because the type of people that Charlie attracted, some of them will be turned to Nick. Um, some won't. But some of the people that Nick have are people that are warriors, and they're ready to go. So, but the thing I think that they're worried that Nick is next, so they're trying to defame him already. So when he might be able to have this little, I don't want to say it's a redemption arc for Nick, because Nick doesn't have anything to really be redeemed for. But if he gets back into the conservative side, and he's talking to guys like Matt and Michael, uh, uh, even, I mean, there's so many people, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, and he gets in that space, and he could, have these debates with these guys. I mean, after all of what they've said about him, all of them have said shit like he's a troll, or he lives in his mama's basement. But they all say he's talented, you know. But it would be exactly what Nick would do. He would forgive all of them, just like Trump does. It's a very interesting thing that Trump has with Nick. I think both of them are great people, but they have a thin skin, kind of. Um, and they put those emotions on their, out there. Obviously, Trump is in almost his 80s, almost 80s now. But at least we know where we are with Nick, and we are with Trump. But both of them have the ability to just say, whatever you said about me, it could have been the most vile thing, but now we're going to do something together, and for the betterment of the country, I'll be with you. So I just hope that they do this. I hope this is an opening. Nick said he was talking to somebody that nobody would have thought of. I was thinking it was Steve Bannon. I don't think it was Matt Walsh yet. I don't believe that. But I think, being that Matt was a friend of Charlie, that it really impacted him a lot. And he may even woken up even more on what's going on. And I'm not saying about the Jews in Israel, but I think he knows that what's next is next. And we might need to have somebody like Nick pushing this to that next level. And the same thing is that all of them are brothers in Christ. You could put Megyn Kelly and all that in there, as well as but we, in the movement, really, we're not going to have women in positions that they would be influential. You might have them there to do other things, but this has got to be a man-led movement to get itself back where we need to be. So I'll leave it there right now. Thank you. Let me know what you think in the comments before I start sneezing everywhere. I think it's a good thing. And we'll talk about it in the comments. You guys have a good day. Bye.